Hi everyone, and welcome to Creative Chelsea. If you like this video, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up or commenting below. If you want to see more of my videos, press the subscribe button and click on the bell for notifications. If you need any Stampin' Up! Products to make this card, you can visit my online store and the link is in the description box below. When you purchase Stampin' Up! Products through me, you can earn free products. Check out my current customer appreciation products on my blog, and the link is listed below in the description box. Today I'd like to share with you some of the products in the Trimming the Town suite from Stampin' Up! So let's go ahead and see the products that I used to create this card, which are mostly from that suite, and then we'll walk through the steps on how to create this cute card. So the fun Trimming the Town suite comes with all this product. Now, of course, you can purchase all these items separately. If there's something that interests you, then you don't want to purchase it all as a bundle. So one of the first things is the Coming Home stamp set. This stamp set, even though it has that winter Christmas feeling, it's really versatile and you can use it all through the year. Then you have the coordinating dies, and these dies actually coordinate with the stamp set as well with the designer series paper, and I'll show you that in a minute. Then the accessories that come in the suite, you have the All the Trimmings Rainbow Combo Pack, and this gives you some really pretty ribbon. Both ribbons have a gold edging to them, and they come in Old Olive and Poppy Parade. Then you also receive the All the Trimming Embellishments. And these are really fun. You get two different sizes of dots and then these really cute stars in Bumblebee. So again, you can purchase all these items together in a bundle, or you can purchase these items separately. And so this is a sampling of the designer series paper. It comes with 12 sheets, 2 of each design. And you get some really fun patterns. So this one's kind of a scenery pattern. And then you have this house pattern. And this is one of the sheets that coordinates with the dies that also coordinate with the stamp set. And you can see here that this particular house die fits nicely over this house. And they all coordinate. Even the trees coordinate as well. And then this cute little wreath paper, it also has a little die that will coordinate and cut out all these little wreaths if you wanted to do that. I always put my dies with a little bit of washi tape just to kind of hold them in place. So that's why you're seeing washi tape on them. Then you also get this really fun pattern here with some people giving gifts, and then this really pretty tree pattern, and then another small house pattern. And then on the opposite side, you get some really pretty solid color patterns. And you can see those here. We have the blue is Misty Moonlight, and then that Poppy Parade and Old Olive. So really pretty designer series paper that you could use all through the year, but mostly in the winter time. Another fun thing about this suite is the Coming Home stamp set. So I am right now on page 25, but if I flip it over to page 26, you get a view of that stamp set a little better. It tells you right here that when you purchase the Coming Home stamp set, $3 will be donated to charities devoted to adoption, foster care, and infertility. You can make a difference today. So this is a really nice way to go ahead and help other people at the same time as getting this fun stamp set. So going back to our card, we're going to be using a lot of those products I just shared with you to create this fun card. So let's go ahead and get started now. So one of the first things that I did to create this card is work on this fun texture background. And I made this background using the Old World Paper 3D embossing folder. And I'm just placing in a piece of Whisper White Cardstock, and it's 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then that's going to get run through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This fun embossing folder creates this really fun and kind of unique texture to your paper. Now, if it's a little too much for you, you can always take a bone folder and smooth it out a little bit so you get less texture to it. But for this card, I'm actually using the back side so that it has a little more of a smooth feeling. And then I've also taken, and I wanted to create kind of like a wintry scene back there. And so I wanted some of that shimmery look that snow can get in the sun. And so I got that by using the shimmer paint, Frost White, along with 1/4 of a sponge. And I'm just going to add it to the edges. Make sure to work on a piece of scrap paper to protect your surface. And then you're just going to add a little bit of paint to that sponge. And then I like to scrape off so I don't get too much. And then you're just going to rub it. You can do it in a circular motion or a horizontal. And you're just going to apply it to the edges of this cardstock. And it's just going to make for a really fun and shiny edges. Okay, so now you can kind of see that shine on that cardstock. And we're just going to place this off to the side and let it dry. So the next thing we can do here is we can cut out the designer series paper for these houses. So to make this card faster, I decided instead of using the stamps, I wanted to just use the designer series paper and showcase how easy it is to cut out these different images. And so I'm going to go ahead and use this tall tree here and just line that up nicely. Add a little bit of washi tape and then this small blue house here. Make sure it's all lined up. Add a little washi tape. And then we're going to also do a tree. So just find a small tree. And let's see, maybe this one would be a little better. Line it up. And we're just going to add washi, and then we'll just run this through our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I just love how easy that makes it. There's no fussy cutting or coloring, and I get these really pretty and quick images to use on my card. So that's all ready to go. Another thing that I wanted to do is showcase these little winter scene dies that come in the die set. And so what I've got here is a piece of cardstock. It is 3 inches by 4 inches, and I'm just going to line up the top of this tree on the left side and tape that down. And then here on the bottom, I'm just going to line it up as well. And it doesn't need to be perfectly even and match that shape here. So we could even slide it over a little bit and add it just to the bottom. And this is just going to give us some cardstock for those images to kind of sit on and be grounded on our card. Okay, so I'm just going to take that to my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, and then we'll be right back. Okay, so you can see that part is the leftover, and we carefully remove that washi tape. We can see we've got that fun snow winter feeling for our card, and that's going to be a really great base to add our houses to our card. Okay, so the next things we're going to need, we're just going to need one of the patterns of the designer series paper, and I'm using this striped old olive. And then to pull in another color, I wanted to use Pool Party, and we're just going to have that peek out a little bit on the side. So you can go ahead and adhere this to the back of that DSP. So there's just going to be about 1/8 of an inch pinking out on each side, and maybe about 1/2 inch or so coming down from the top of that old olive. You can see that on the back. Okay, and then we do have a couple pieces for our stamping. Now, one of the things about this coming home stamp set is that there's no greeting. So it's a perfect time to use the Mini Mate stamp set, which is the free stamp set in my Customer Appreciation Product program for November 2020. If you can go ahead and click on the link, and it will take you to my blog, and you can see all the products that are offered this month, or how much you need to order to qualify to get the stamp set for free. And I'm going to be using the Congrats, and this calls for a huge celebration. And I just thought this would be a perfect card to give to either somebody who's just moved into your neighborhood, or somebody that you know who is going to be moving soon. So we're going to be stamping that greeting here in the Misty Moonlight ink. And the Congrats goes on the larger piece, and this is just a scrap piece because we're going to be fussy cutting that out. So then we're going to be stamping the smaller greeting onto a 1/2 inch by 2 1/4 inches, and just right there in the center. So one thing we're going to do after we've stamped our greeting is we're going to create these little arrows on the ends of that strip. And I wanted to use the Banner Pick-a-Punch to create this. But this strip is a little bit on the small side to fit in. And so I'm going to just use the a sticky note, and that's just going to help me hold it in place as I slide it into this punch. So just kind of place it on one side and line it up. And I'm looking at it from behind or underneath the punch so I can make sure that it's lined up in the right place. And then just flip it onto the other side and do the exact same thing. Oh, that's the wrong one. I almost punched the wrong punch. There we go. And you just want to make sure that your ink has dried so that you're not transferring ink with that Post-it note. So that's the only little extra tip. You can see that we get a little bit of transfer right there, but that should be okay. It's not terrible. So just make sure your ink is dry before you add this Post-it note. And then we're going to just cut a piece of vellum into a circle. And this is about 1 5/8 inches in diameter. And I've just used the Layering Circles dies, which I use a lot. And you can find that in the annual catalog or online. So now we have all our pieces and we're ready to put our card together. So I just have a card base here of thick Whisper White cardstock. And I'm going to go ahead and add that textured paper now that that shimmer paint has dried. I'm going to use a little bit of liquid adhesive and place it right there in the center. I am going to use a bone folder to just smooth that liquid adhesive glue out. You can do it on the outside or the inside. It's a little easier to smooth it out when it is on the inside. So you're going to have something like that. And then we're going to add this piece right here in the center. Again, I'm going to use some liquid adhesive just to make sure that everything sticks nicely to that texture. And place that in the center as well. Just kind of eyeball it. Open it up, and rub it again. Next, we're going to add our little winter landscape, and that's going to go right across, so it's a full 4 inches. And I do want to just have a little bit of color peeking out on the bottom, and I can use just regular adhesive here. And then we're going to add our houses and our tree. And I want to add these with some dimensionals. Just go ahead and add a couple to the back of each house. And for this big house here, I want to place it so that I can still see that tree right there. So somewhere right there in the middle. And then for this small tree, or excuse me, for this small house, we're going to just place it right next to this larger house, just bring it up just slightly. And then for the little tree, I'm going to use just an edge here of a dimensional. I'm just going to trim it in half. And then I can place that right there. And this gets tucked behind. So this gets tucked behind that other house and just down in front of that tree. So there's kind of a little grouping of a neighborhood. And then we're going to work on our greeting. I'm just going to fussy cut out this congrats. It's a pretty simple fussy cut. You could get pretty detailed if you wanted and try to go up and between some of those letters, but you can just keep it really simple if you want as well. And just remember to move the cardstock and not so much your scissors. And that just kind of makes it a little bit smoother of a cut. And you can get as close as you want, or you can kind of come out further, whatever is your style. And just come straight across and then back around that little fancy C. And then you're all done. So we're going to start by placing this calls for a celebration on the bottom of our vellum circle, just with a little bit of that peeking out at the base. And then congrats will be lifted up with a dimensional. And you can just cut a little strip off the edge if you are wanting to have a little more support for that one. And that just goes right above your other greeting. So something like that. And then on the back, we're going to add some adhesive. And you want to add it behind those other elements. And then take 12 inches of the old olive ribbon that comes in the suite. And you're just going to find the midpoint. So I usually will do this by putting my ends together and then sticking my finger in the center. And I want it just to be at a slight angle. And then you just wrap this back and forth. Let's see. So something like that to create kind of a faux bow on the back of your greeting. And then you can just adjust to make things bigger or smaller, however you want. So that's going to look good right there. And then I did lift this up with a dimensional or two. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut another piece and place that right over the ribbon to hold it in place. And then this just goes right here near the bottom. Make sure it's nice and straight, just like that. And then the very last thing we're going to add are some of these cute stars. And I love my Take a Pick tool. I'm just going to lift it up and add them to a couple different places on my card. All right, so that card is all done. I hope you enjoyed watching me use these new products in the Trimming the Town suite. If you're interested in purchasing these things, or if you'd like to see close-ups of these cards or step-by-step instructions, you can visit my blog. Thank you so much for watching. Have a creative day. Bye.